Oh, yeah, yes. Sorry about that. Thank you. I was saying, this is what I was saying. Thank you for, I didn't know, I forgot that I had it on mute. Thank you. So when you have a person who is in the medical field, because I'm in the medical field, guys. Okay, I'm in the medical field. I work with people directly. I work, in the nursing field, and for anyone to handle a patient, a catheter, just came out of surgery, not even a week, just came out of surgery, and the doctor gave Deion Sanders direction. The most important thing they are worried about is infection. So for her to handle his catheter without gloves, you have to have gloves, because if this man get infection, and like I was saying before, most likely Deion Sanders will touch the catheter bag, especially when he's going to the bathroom to do number 2, a bowel movement, or in the bed to move it, in a different position. He's going to touch it and wind up probably in bed, probably not washing his hand, and you touching it. We don't know where your hand's been. Infection, guys, infection, and we trying to keep this man away from infection. And this type of practice that's a red flag. Who else you practicing that with? See, that's the problem. If you do this to Deion Sanders, that means you do to somebody else. Even though Deion Sanders, it is not on any type of precaution, no type of disease, no type of infectious, disease, anything like that, viruses. Yeah, but we don't know where you've been. So for you not to put on gloves, that's not good. You have to put on gloves. That's the number one universal precaution. Wash your hands, and put on gloves and wash your hands. After you take off your glove, disregard your glove, you wash your hands, guys. That's the number one thing that we have to go by. You know what I mean? And guys, set up your prize for Deion Sanders, man. Set up your prize for Deion Sanders, because right now he's going through a journey. And you know what I mean? And I'm glad, he putting a lot of his journey online. You know what I mean? A lot of his journey that he's going through right now in his personal life. He's putting online and showing certain details. But therefore, you have some people who will come online and start, those people who come with views and likes, and then put on some propaganda nonsense about his personal life. Listen, they are both wrong adults. They are both wrong adults. That woman sent to the relationship, she's 37 years old. He's 4 years old. Deion Sanders is 57 years old. And that is where he's getting support. We should realize that, and respect that, guys. But right now, we should set up our prize to Deion Sanders, for speedy recovery, everything go well, the therapy, rehab, whatever he have to go through to bounce back, to be, not 100% back, but close as possible to 100% back. You have surgery like that, and I keep it real. This channel, man, is to keep it real. This channel is to keep people grounded and balanced. And when you come here, you're not going to give you no wash down edit commentary, commentary people that give you straight up truth that Deion said that we can't. Just because a person is sick or has some type of illness that they would die faster than someone in the world who are not sick. Let me tell you something, people. The way the world is going now, a lot of people will just, die. We live in the last days. We live in the days where things will happen. People will say, "Oh my God, how would that happen?" Dude, is it raining? Where are you? No, it's not raining. I'm in my car, man. I'm in my car. I was on another live earlier, and for some reason my phone overheated, and I got disconnected. And guys, give the video a like, man. Press the like button. So this morning, we're speaking on Deion Sanders. What he had to go through the surgery and recovery. It's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy. And I'm glad that, like I said before in the other video, I'm glad that he's putting this on not social media, but a journey of what he had to go through, and what the recovery process is, the challenges. It seems like he's gonna put up a lot of things, and just the overall of this journey, man. It's not an easy one, but anyone that could make that journey is Deion Sanders. Never had an issue with that man over the years. Nothing, say, out of the ordinary. He just living his life. We know that he was with another female. They're about the same age, in their 50s, but they were together for about 12 years, 14, something like that, 12, 14 years. But they never got married, and let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. When a man started to get old, right, or older, one of the fear that people have is to be alone. And people got to understand, you could be successful for a lot of things in your life, job, making a lot of money, living comfortable, have best house, cars, clothes, best restaurants, whatever you do, the best of everything. But when you don't have a person to share that with, but when you're young, yeah, you can get away with it. You're young, you're dating, you get away with all of that. But when you start getting older now, for both, for a man and woman, it's a different experience. But for women, I think it's more difficult. Where you don't have kids, you have nieces, nephews, and things like that, but you don't have your own kids. And you start getting older, man, and you said, no, I didn't regret it, but kids is a beautiful thing to have. A partner also is a beautiful thing to have. That's the point of this thing, is having someone who love you regardless, for rich, for poor, for better, for worse, but honor the commitment. That's priceless, man. Money can't buy that, guys. The only way you can have that is through genuine love. And you don't have to agree with that person all the time, and you might have disagreement, not have the best relationship, but but love, man, it's the love that matters. At the end of the day, it's the love. Because at the end of the day, when a person leave this earth and transition to the next part of life, that's what I call it, 3 stages: born, death, and go somewhere else. Transition, we don't know, the unknown. But life is to have someone, enjoy life together, man. Life is not good when you enjoy it by yourself. To have, then to have kids and grandkids, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling, man. But it seems to us now that this generation don't want that. They want the good life, the kids, but they don't want it to do together. They want to do by themselves. That's, you know what I mean? But who of us to judge, you know what I mean? People hook up with people who they want to hook up with, even though you think it's bad choice, but it's their choice. What are you going to do? But what I'm saying is this, guys. We're born, we live, we die. We all going to come to that, young, old, middle age, whatever it is, we all got to come to that door at one point. But we all, not everyone acknowledge that, but we're all aware we're going to all come to that point. But what I'm saying is, isn't it better to live a life with love, treat people with respect, treat people good, find yourself a nice woman or man, settle down, have kids, enjoy your kids. You know, we're not perfect, man. No one is perfect, but that's what life is about. But when you live it alone, and think that, you know, when you start getting old, you start realizing no one is there for you. I see it, guys. I see it. I see I see it in social service. I also work in social nursing. Everything is social service, taken care of. That's nursing. Social service is still nursing. Even when you put somebody in foster kids, to put them in somebody, it's still taken care of. It's still nursing. You know, I heard someone said that, oh, I've been an RN for 6 years. And I said to the person, nursing is still showing empathy, compassion, and caring. You know what the person said to me? Oh, that went out the window a long time ago. You just become a routine. Oh my God. A routine. People's lives are not a routine, even though it's a routine to us, what we do to them, but that's the way they want to do it. I don't want to call it a routine. That's the way they want to live their life. Can I say, you know, a job become a routine? You don't need to be doing that job as an RN if it's just a routine. And I was shocked. I was like, wow. We see more and more younger people in the hospital. More and more younger people coming in the hospital, people. And when you look at it, they have all type of health complications. Deion Sanders had a lot of health complications to have 14 surgeries. Wow, I was like 14 surgeries. So, you know, it's a lot, man, but that's life, and we gotta accept the good, we gotta accept the bad. And right now, Deion Sanders is going through a journey, and he accepts that journey because guess what? No one else could do that journey but him. You gotta fight the battle. So when, you know, people making a big stink about, oh, this lady, I think the last name is Tran, I forgot her name, her first name, or why he's with her, blah blah blah, because she used to date Chris Brown. And listen, guys, we need to stop that. It's not about this man's personal life. This man is fighting for his life. And we here arguing about who he's dating. They're both grown adults. 37 years old and 57 years old. Even though they're 20 years apart, it doesn't matter. They're both, she's almost 40 years old. She's a grown woman. Come on, people. We have better things to be speaking about than Deion Sanders' relationship. This man is fighting for his life to recover it to the best of what he could recover to. And we here talking about his personal life. And if that woman is helping to recover, who of us to go judge that man for what he's doing? Come on, people. We need to stop and realize that, you know, we are responsible for what we say. You know what I mean? We can't, you know, people apologize and this and that. No, you said it. You cannot apologize something that you say and you know you're wrong. Why say it in the first place if you know you're wrong? That's how I look at it. So, you know what I mean? So people need to realize that, you know, they need to set up their price for their standards. Don't come on social media and set up negative vibe towards this man because it's going to affect him. This man right now is fighting a battle. You know what I mean? People don't want to put it like that, but he's fighting a battle for his health, guys. And, you know, he don't need no negative vibes put out there. He needs positive people that are going to pray for him, to lift him up and speak positive things in his life. He doesn't need people who will speak negative and bring negative situation in his environment. He don't need that. He needs positive people. And you know what I mean? And so far, it seemed like he's doing good. And like I said, the only thing I just didn't like this picture here. I'm going to show it again. I just didn't like this picture of the lady doing his catheter without gloves, his caretaker. That's a no-no. And you know, infection is the number one thing that this man got to worry about. And you doing this without gloves. Shame on you. Shame on you. Do you understand this? I hope people tell you that was wrong. Because if you get an infection, guys, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful, guys. You have to be very careful. So, guys, I did another video earlier, guys. So, set up a price with Deion Sanders that he recovered. You know, he had the surgery, and they said that they removed all the cancer and he's cured. You know what I mean? That's what they say, guys. You just have to go and pray that the doctor, they're all right. And I will support. You know, saying this up the prayers, guys. Thank you very much. Press like, share, subscribe to the platform, guys. I appreciate everyone that's coming into the live, watching the video.